All right, and welcome to game number 3 of our best of 7 series between our two players. Over here, up 2-0 already, is a Protoss player, Hasuobs. Down here in the bottom left, in the red, the well-known, well-renowned Liquid's TLO. So far, we had an early timing push take out TLO in game 1 that he wasn't really prepared for, and some nice micro on Stalker Sentry was able to close that game out. And over in game 2, we had a very unusual composition by TLO, opting to go for the Swarm Host off a 3 base. Did do some nice damage, had Asu in some really awkward positions with some Locust play, but ultimately, he kind of just stuck to his guns and just pushed out with a nice Colossus Void Ray Deathball, and the immobility of the Swarm Host was just unable to close him out, even with the Nidus Worm. So, down 2-0. Not the best place to be in a best of series. It'll be interesting to see how TLO responds to this. Does he go all in? Does he go even safer than he's been and just play some solid mechanics? Or does he go for some type of timing push that's very unorthodox? Don't know. I am interested in what Hasu's going to do. He has some amazing builds. He had some very different stuff. Hasn't done, take note, has not done Forge Fast Expand one time yet. Has gone Nexus first, has gone Gateway, then Nexus, and it looks like another Gateway Nexus just based on the positioning of that Gateway. And this is really nice because you don't see the Gateway, then you see the early Nexus. And you almost assume Nexus first, macro up, only to realize there was an early Gateway, so that early warp play can be a factor, and did do quite a bit of damage when he did go that build. We do see the patch first, followed by pull, going somewhat greedy on the econ. Never a bad thing. This is a map where anything really goes. It doesn't necessarily dictate, macro type play. There is one spawn each side. It is a 1 versus 1 map, so you don't have that guaranteed fast hatch, but there is a long path because you have to come out of your base, down through all those vision towers and high ground, low ground, and then up a ramp in a choke point to the base, so there is a lot of time to react. But we do see a very early third base coming out of Liquid TLO. I wonder if he's going to go for that very, very famous 12-minute Max Stefano style. Would be very strong. It's still strong, even in Heart of the Swarm. The scout the early Nexus, nearing completion, so he knows the timing of it when it was dropped. Has no vision of his base, though, and that's something TLO's got to work on. So far, his patterns have been really ineffective in giving him any type of information. He's been playing blind most of his games. They're just having a really tough time getting information. And to compensate from that, you see these two early Zerglings coming out, and he did see, hopefully, a little flash of red down here, indicating that he did see it. Is a probe over there. Going to check for some proxy pylons. Do have the Overlords in decent position, at least to spot any movement coming out. Yet to take gas. Almost makes me think that he is going to be going to that Mass Roach type style, which of all the maps he's done, I think it's actually the least effective on this one. To deny that third, there are options, but it's deceptive. What I mean by that is the obvious one is to run up here, which is usually going to be, for many decent tops, walled off with the extra gateways that they need for infrastructure, a few pylons and some photon cannons, and this is pretty much just not an option anymore, especially with the Mothership Core having that photon overcharge. Really just a waste to jump into this choke. Leaves you two options. One, going this way, which at that point you may as well attack the natural, and the army will typically be in a pretty good position right here. So really, from the way it was just explained, the only option to kind of catch us off guard is to come from this backside, which unfortunately the way the map's designed, you have to start here, come all the way around, and then maybe attack here. But it's a very long distance. Lots of time for observers, reactions, things like that. You're wondering if we're going to see the Forge Fast Expand kind of go out of style. It just seems that one gate is just very solid and can, with the Mothership Core, just give a lot of utility to that early game Protoss army. We do have really good scouting, though. Really good vision. Um, really good vision by TLO. He's got some vision. I would like him to take maybe the second Zelnaga Tower, because it's oh so important for the Zerg to be able to catch their opponents moving out of the base early. And there is a Stalker. Alright, is going to get a beautiful scout off in here. No one going to take him out. He's going to go run to the back, see everything. Sees Robotics Facility Forge, Cybernetics Core. And is going to try to just kill a pro, but a Zergling very well worth the sacrifice. Oh man, and for a good play, there's an equally bad play. Unfortunately, does lose the Overlord. I'm not sure if he was just trying to double check on gas. You gotta think with a Protoss, they're already gonna have both their gases in their main at 8 minutes. He does have the double gas timing on the natural. This is, or should be, setting off a red flag. He didn't see a starport, so he's got to know it's some type of timing attack. It's going to be some Immortal Sentry, some drop play, some type of gateway harass. We do have Lair just finishing. I don't know if he starts a Hydralisk Den now. It'll be done in time for any type of timing attack, but he's got to start producing units, especially post 8:30, because he doesn't know which of the timings are coming. He didn't see a Stargate, so there's a pretty safe bet, especially seeing the robotics, that it's not going to be any type of Stargate play. F2 key, bringing back the entire army. I know this because I've done it so many times, and you lose all your scouting vision. But could be just regrouping to make a better push towards a potential third that doesn't exist, and that I don't think he thinks it exists. All right, we do have a little harassment going on over here in the backside. Just a probe, being a probe. Doesn't get any really valuable scouting information off. This Overseer, though, able to catch the army moving out of position. I wonder if he's going to go for a base trade, or if he just kind of accepts the fact that this army is more than likely already on his turf. We do have vision over here by the creep as well, so he can go ahead and make a trade or decide to move out. We've got reinforcing roaches moving out as well. Just spawned. Only a few, though, not enough to really do any pressure. But we have a lot of sentries. This is a deceptive army. It's not the damage they're doing, but the amount of time they're going to be spending doing that damage. And are they just going to outright kill this third uncontested, going for the base trade? Does take out nice infrastructure. Got to run in as well. Do we have... No force field. Use this. Both sentries before any force fields can go out. A micro mistake by Hasu. Oh, and recalls at the same time, so we trade a base for a base. But beautiful, beautiful force fields coming in, destroying the whole army pretty much for free, going over to units lost. We do have triple digits now. Double, almost triple the units lost for TLO. Oh, we have the Swarm Host back in production again. He does love that composition to work out pretty well for him. I think it'll work out a lot better on this map than Mass Swarm Host, but unfortunately I think mobility is going to kill him again, because as we see the pro moving out and almost giving away the intention of the army that now marches onto the creep, we've got even bases on bases again, but this has got to be canceled. It's going to fall very quickly. He's going to go ahead and march on to that natural, but can he do any damage? We have 2 Swarm Hosts down, Spine Crawlers nearing completion, does get the cancel off. Lots of sentries, though. We do have the army running around here. Forceful's doing an amazing job, though, is doing what they need to be doing for Toss. Just take out a pylon. Creates a nice supply block. Can't reinforce the army, but doesn't matter. The army's huge over here and very, very gas heavy. This is not going to hold up against... Oh, we've got 2 down now. Some more Spine Crawlers finishing. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Macro slipped a little too much, I think. At 12 minutes, only 100 supply for Zerg. Not a very good thing at all. Spinecrawler trying, not enough of these Swarm Hosts to really do any damage. Queen's doing what they can, but if he loses the Roach Warren here, that's going to be huge. He's going to start producing out of it at least before it dies. Loses 1 Queen. Going now for the Locust, and now focus on the other units. Sentries still have enough for a few force fields, and there goes the Roach Warren as well. Not a very good trade, but we do have the natural falling over here. So, a good trade indeed, because he was able to take out that base. So we have 2 base on 1 base. Third nearing completion, but it doesn't matter. He's going to wrap around like a very smart player he is, and cause the cancel. Locust trying to focus fire those very expensive Immortals. Awkward position for the Protoss to be in, down on 1 base, but does have a ninja expansion just started. Don't know if it was spotted by this drone over here, maybe. Nice force fields, but does lose a few sentries in the mix. It loses all the sentries to roaches and a ton of locusts. So effective in this game. Forcing observer production, forcing units out of position, creating good sieges, and just taking out units for practically no cost. I think that just caught TLO back. He's very close after those engagements. And I swear, it seems like the crux of Protoss play now is about ninja expansions and getting fast expansions. Zorgat, I would almost just check constantly. If I felt like I was ahead, I would just start checking for bases. The toss gets the economy, it's just so devastating. It ruins your composition. Alright. War Swarmhost in production, going to full siege mode. Doesn't matter, running around, Ling run-bys, not doing anything at all. Doing practically zero damage. You have Warp Proofs moving in for some nice harass. We have nothing back here but 3 queens. Oh, 2 Swarmhosts just popping out the nick of time. And Lings. Gonna wisely cancel those warp ins, but it's coming on the low ground. Gonna be able to take out this expansion again. I think that's died 3 times now. Never a good thing for a Zerg. Doesn't even have a macro hatch, so he really needs to get some type of production from somewhere. Not enough larva. Not enough money. Just econ starved right now. Very strange game. Oh, did get the third base, or second base now down and saturated. So we do have a slight lead for the Protoss, because 2-base Protoss does come out on top on 2-base Zerg, which doesn't matter. All these probes have to be pulled now. Oh man, Zergling's coming in to do some damage. They're not upgraded again though. Teal. Oh, you're falling so behind. Your upgrades are killing me. I love the diverse army, but man, just the no upgrades, and he's going to lose some infestors as well, and just taking huge losses to just these tier 1 units makes me cry. Oh, Zealot's so effective when used properly for this reason. They're able to just clean up on the small versus small engagements. Hell, Swarmhosts just, man, haven't been finding a place in this series so far. Very difficult to make work. They have to be protected. They got to be built up to a certain number. If they're not hitting critical mass, there goes a Roach Warren again, but he is able to, at the same time, with those same Swarmhosts, take out the base. The forcing base trades is not sure if you want to be doing that, you know? It does not seem as effective. I feel like there are units that do, well, what these Swarmhosts are doing a little bit better. Mutalisk comes to mind, especially with the improved ones, can just be so mobile on the map and at least be able to come back to get some kind of counterattack. And, oh man, what a mess both these players' economy is. Down to 96 supply at 18 minutes into the game. You could call that awkward. Nice time warp coming in, gonna make the Swarmhost pretty much useless, gonna lose all of them. Horrible trade. And mass recall after killing 4 to 5 of those expensive Swarmhosts, going to resources lost. We do have the numbers evening. TLO was a little bit closer, did slightly pull ahead after the last few good engagements, but Hasu re-solidifying his lead with that nice snipe of a few of those Swarmhosts. I will say it is weird though, and it does force some bad engagement, because if they're if you don't have the detection, you don't have the vision, you don't exactly know how many are there, and especially he's morphing in, 6, 7 at a time. You could have 4, do another warp in, try to come in and attack again. All of a sudden you have 8 to 10, and you start just losing units. It's a very deceptive unit. You can create some really good opportunities, but unfortunately we're seeing it takes so much micro and so much time. You gotta wonder if there's better alternatives. Lack of upgrades has just been killing TLO this game. The units are just melting to the +1. Alright, 3 base, 2 base. Game's still very much even. Protoss is getting gas starved though. Lining off of only 2 gases at the moment, and here we go for the base trade again. Coming in, going to take out those 2 gateways, going to hurt the infrastructure a little bit, but at the same time we do have a full-on trade coming in. Is he going to do the mass recall? Probably going to try to snipe this Nexus, snipe the hatchery, Oh no, Roach Warren gonna fall again for the time. I think he's just gonna clean the space and try to warp back in to cancel the base trade. Done plenty of damage. He can just kill this base and go home, because at the same time we do have another warping coming in. 5 Zealots able to completely wreck the economy of TLO. But we have the full-on base trade. I gotta think sentries are just gonna shit on this though. No, Miss Micro again loses another 3 sentries, so gonna be able to have a nice base trade. Gonna cut off the reinforcements here, and no, gonna go ahead and march them up, as you very well should. Should start dropping hatcheries. Doesn't have the money though. It's gonna be very close. No, to start a nice hatchery here. They have the money for it. Zerglings are gonna help a lot in the base trade. They do tons of damage. Very fast, can run around sniping everything, but there's a lot of pylons everywhere, so it's gonna be really awkward. There's gonna have to be some type of engagement eventually. Where are the drones? That's what I want to know. Who has more right now? TLO with 11. Oh, if you could only keep those alive, maybe throw them over here, you could at least maybe get some more Zerglings in or something. It's going to be really difficult with no air units for Hasu to engage this, though. I actually don't know how he can, especially with the Infestors as well doing free damage. All things even, the energy units are going to give a huge advantage to that army. They're going to be doing damage without taking any losses. Same thing with these swarm hosts. So I gotta think that this base trade's almost over. You may see TLO take his first victory of the series. I think as soon as Hasu realizes that he does have another base here, it's gonna pretty much be game. It's going to take him a long time to even clear out these units, with the Locust just whittling down whatever's left. And it's really unfortunate. Even these Broodlings, every part of the Zerg is just making this base trade impossible. And I got to think he's got this now. I'm going to start droning again as well. Right now, going to units. It is 3 Zealots, 11 Stalkers, 1 Immortal, 1 more Prism, which is good for the pickup micro, and 7 Sentries, and a Mothership Core, so not bad, but it is against 24 Links, 10 Swarm Hosts, 4 Infestors. Of course, the free units coming out of the Swarm House, so that's going to be an inflated army. 30 at a time being produced. It's going to be very difficult for these 3 Zealots, and that's 11 Stalkers. Now, the DPS unit will be part of the tanking. Yeah, not sure how this is going to work out. He's going to go for it, though. Gonna go ahead and go for it. Stalker's electing to just, harass down these, and I gotta think it's gonna be game pretty soon. All his structures are soon gonna be revealed. At this point, I almost want to say you could just purely drone and try to just wait him out, build up a decent army. He's got to know that Hasu's got no money to start another Nexus. Almost nothing he can do. Does he have Blink? No. I'm not sure what he can do here then. I have to wait for a wave of these Locusts to kind of die out. I just get some nice force fields off. It's definitely going to help in the engagement, but unfortunately, as you're seeing, these Locusts are just doing damage for free. None of the units of TLO taken out yet. And a Zealot already down, so down to 1 Zealot. 2 Zealots now. Alright, in come more Locusts, more of those free units. Gotta think TLO, especially being down 2 games, is just gonna play this one safe. Gonna keep droning. Warp Prism goes down, that's good, and the Observer as well. But nice use of the Mothership Core and Time Warp as well, slowing down these Locusts. Gotta take advantage of the Time Warp though. But no, too many Locusts up, and engages a little too soon. Going to take unnecessary losses. Target firing the Stalkers. DPS plummeting. But we do have a pretty fair engagement going on here. The Locusts are all on cooldown. In comes everything. In comes some beautiful force fields as well. Fungal going down on the Mothership Core to take out that 1 air unit. Lynx Trap, Locust Trap. They're going to waste another round of production again, negating these Swarm Hosts with beautiful force fields. But Fungals, Chain Fungals being thrown down on the Mothership Core, and there's a good game. Very close, came down to the wire, literally. A 50 mineral game. TLO takes his first win of the series, moving